Excellencies, distinguished participants, allow me to begin by thanking the government of Uzbekistan, UN Office of Counter-Terrorism, OSCE, and the Institute for Strategic and Regional Studies under the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan for inviting me to speak at the opening of this conference. It is a great honor for me to address you all on behalf of the UN Security Council Counter-Terrorism Committee, which I currently serve as chair. The committee has established a long-standing and constructive dialogue with the states of Central Asia, which remain key partners in the international counter-terrorism efforts. The terrorist threat to the countries of Central Asian region has remained high due to the returning foreign terrorist fighters and more recently to the developments in Afghanistan. Thousands of individuals from Central Asia travel to the conflict zones to join the ranks of terrorist groups, where they have acquired the skills required to carry out terrorist attacks, spread terrorist propaganda, and recruit new members. The return and relocation of such individuals to Central Asia continues to pose a significant challenge. Recent developments in neighboring Afghanistan have raised global concern about the possibility of its becoming a safe haven for Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups. The recent 1988 committee report to the Security Council noted that the ties between the Taliban, largely through the Haqqani network, and the Al-Qaeda and foreign terrorist fighters remain close and are based on ideological alignment and relationship forged through common struggle and intermarriage. Security Council listed terrorist groups with links to Central and South Asia are now reported to have greater freedom of movement in Afghanistan. Afghanistan could also become a magnet for terrorist fighters from other regions. The deteriorating situation in Afghanistan, including the humanitarian conditions, is also a source of growing concern. The grievances of the population of Afghanistan, already exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, may get further aggravated, creating a potential risk of radicalization and spillover into neighboring countries. The international and regional cooperation remains crucial in the fight against terrorism. In January 2022, India hosted the first India Central Asia Summit, which was attended by heads of all Central Asian states. Here, the leaders condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations and reaffirmed the importance of Security Council Resolution 2593 of 2021, in which the Council unequivocally demands that Afghan territory not be used for sheltering, training, planning, or financing terrorist acts, and calls for concerted action against all terrorist groups. Peace and security in Afghanistan is a critical imperative that all of us need to collectively strive for. Excellencies, the Counter-Terrorism Committee has a vital role to play in monitoring, promoting, and facilitating the implementation by Central Asian states of relevant Council resolutions to counter terrorism. Supported by its Executive Directorate or CTED, the committee conducts assessments of states' implementation of the relevant Council resolutions. Because of the importance of Central Asia in the international fight against terrorism, some states of the region, including our host Uzbekistan, have been visited more than once. We regularly invite representatives of UNOCT, UN Regional Center for Preventive Diplomacy for Central Asia, and other expert regional and international organizations to join the assessment visits to Central Asia. The committee's visits and findings have become a primary source of reference for technical assistance providers and donors within the overall coordination of the United Nations Office of Counter-Terrorism, and with a view to enhancing member states' capacity building. In this regard, I would like to note the importance of member states giving their consent to the sharing of the committee's visit findings, either in part or in whole. This is how the UN and non-UN partners, such as those present today, as well as other providers, can ensure the delivery of tailored counter-terrorism technical assistance in accordance with the requirements of the relevant Council resolutions and the UN Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy. For over 10 years, the Joint Plan of Action to implement the global strategy in Central Asia has been a vital instrument for delivering technical assistance across its 4 pillars. I would like to commend all providers of this support for taking into consideration the committee's assessment while designing their capacity building programs within the framework of the JPOA. Excellencies, before I close, I would like to reiterate the need for zero tolerance to terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. There cannot be any exception or justification for any act of terrorism, regardless of motivation and wherever, whenever, and by whomever committed. As UN Security Council Resolution 1566 of 2004 mentions, and I quote, terrorism under no circumstances is justifiable by considerations of a political, philosophical, ideological, racial, ethnical, religious, or other similar nature. This conference illustrates the political will of Central Asian states to work together towards achieving their common goal to make this region free from terrorism. I would like to reassure you that the committee and CTED remain determined to engage with all relevant stakeholders to assist the states of Central Asia in their efforts to address terrorist threats in accordance with the relevant Council resolutions. I'm convinced that your governments will continue this close cooperation and collaboration and use the updated joint plan of action to counter the evolving threat of terrorism in a coordinated and comprehensive way. The committee and CTED will continue to support you in these efforts. I thank you very much.